Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of Hoppets. Today, joined by
Brett
of Animacies. Today, checking out some historical beer in terms of style, at least. We're checking out another beer from Verdant, and this is Verdant's Export Stout. So, for an export stout, it's a style you don't review a lot, you don't see it a lot, and I guess a lot of actually modern craft beer interpretations of stout can fall into, because we do have a lot of like middle ground strength stout that not necessarily has,
That's
it doesn't have lactose, so it's not a milk stout and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess they often fall into pastry stout. But you had the porter from England, you have the dry stout, which is kind of what the original porter morphed into, and then you had the Russian Imperial Stout, the crazy big bold stuff. But in between there was the foreign export stouts, which were often made for an export market. Mainly the Caribbean and Africa was where they sold a lot of this stuff. And some of that style still exists today. Not many people brew it. But some of the most famous examples is, for example, a Lion Stout from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Or Guinness Foreign Export, for example. Those are quite famous. But there's, of course, others. But for some reason, Verdant set out to try and do an export stout.
Yeah.
Before an Imperial Stout, which is quite fun. And I think it's cool. It's nice to get the in-between stouts. The whole idea with this style is making a stout with loads of flavor and whatnot without it being as crazy strong as the Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
And again, historic beer style, mainly made for export. So this one is 7.7%. So I think it's like right on the end of the spectrum. I think it's around 8 point something you cut in terms of ABV. Malt in this, very nice complex malt bill of best ale malt, extra pale ale malt, rye malt, premium cara malt, which is I guess a caramel malt, chocolate malt, roasted barley, crystal 150, extra dark crystal malt, and crystal 240, and the yeast is London Ale 3, which they use often at Verdant. So pouring out, it's actually looked like very lush and nice. It's been
It looked like actually luscious from
Oh yeah, actually yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that from the look.
Maybe that's what they kind of set out to do. You never know.
Maybe, yeah.
Even though they call that a British Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
But one of the things with this is like, again, it's a style you never see, and it's also something we haven't drunk in a long time. A stout that's just a stout.
Yeah.
Not adjunct.
Yeah.
Not barrel, nothing. Just a stout. I'm actually quite excited by that. Can't remember the last time I had a stout just without anything, but it looks very nice and velvety, rocking it around in the glass. Yeah. Not like the thickest, but it's definitely looking
a little bubbly.
Yeah.
The head, but generally quite.
Looking at the head in my glass, it looks very nice. Like tan. If you gave it to me blind, I'd think Imperial Stout because no light bleeding through. Let's check out the aroma. Oh, it smells really nice.
Yeah.
It's really like chocolate malty. Like it doesn't have like all these kind of, big fudgy chocolate, whatever. It smells like fresh chocolate malt, caramel.
It smells like malts.
Bread. It's really malty. Really malt hefty beer.
Yeah. Because of the yeast, it reminds me a bit of like chocolate covered dates or something.
Yeah. I see that. The yeast plays in with some esters.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the esters, I think, the reason why you have the dark fruity esters and whatnot, it's not because that's the ester it produces. It's just the generic fruitiness paired with dark malt.
Yeah.
Just as how the generic fruitiness paired with fruity hops turned into this super juicy thing. Because it has like this, I don't know if you could say juicy, but almost juicy dark fruity.
Yeah. Again, something like dates.
Rye is definitely there.
Yeah, a bit of rye.
Spready kind of ryness.
Spelt maybe.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's not made with oats, but I'm almost getting like an oaty feel from it. There's a good sweetness to it, but
it has kind of like a rustic
residual sugar. Yeah.
Rustic thing going on.
Chocolatey, roasty. Do you know what it reminds me of? And this is a really big compliment. It reminds me of smelling something like Samuel Smith. They nail traditional British beer styles to a T in my mind.
Yeah.
And it reminds me a bit of that. Maybe a little sweeter.
Yeah.
And of course stronger. I think their Imperial Stout is like 8.5.
Yeah.
But
also a bit of nuttiness.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It smells nice. Very caramelly. too. Cheers.
Cheers.
Check it out. And also, we forgot to mention Ølkassen.
Yeah.
It's been in the cellar for so long. We got this from Ølkassen. Thanks
Yeah.
a ton to Ølkassen for the beer. It's a Danish web shop. These guys definitely need a shout out. They're doing a lot right now during these COVID-19 days with boxes of Danish beer and selling Danish beer a bit cheaper. So check them out. Link for the shop is down below. Yeah, we finally got around to this one. So let's check it out. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, that's really smooth and velvety.
Yeah.
That is really
They can
nice.
also brew a straight up good stout.
This is a great base stout for anything, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, you could kind of bump this up like into like an imperial stout with a barrel aged or whatever.
And the thing is, it feels like Imperial Stout light.
Yeah.
But without sacrificing body and all these things. It still has like a really nice velvety, creamy body or mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Like really lush. It's like the same kind of mouthfeel you get from the IPAs. And I'm 100% sure they must have water treated just like they do their IPAs.
I think so.
Because the water treatment on stouts really is where the New England IPA water treatment comes from.
That like luscious, coating, soft mouthfeel. It really like I think you can taste that
really
it's kind
lush.
of the same treatment.
Chocolatey, like chocolate malt. Biting, if you've ever okay, biting into chocolate malt is more bitter, but if you like took a handful of just like these nice fresh caramel and roasted malts and chocolate malts, just like stuffed them in your face and ate them, it's like this kind of really fresh malty, like cereal kind of flavor.
Yeah, it's very cereally.
Yeah, which I think is what you want in a beer like this. Toasty.
Yeah,
nutty,
toasty, nutty.
Really
Again, a bit of that like date fig thing, but it's actually I think that the chocolate and nutty notes are a bit more upfront than the fruity ones.
Yeah. And there is, and you can definitely taste it. Maybe they've gone a little bit restrained with the roasted barley, because it's not like this sharp, really crazy charry roast.
No, it's very pleasant and balanced.
Yes, all the other grains really shine. So I think that's mainly, a lot of people use a lot of roasted barley, but you get a really charry, roasty malt, bitter malt flavor. Yeah. Whereas if you just use it gently and use a lot of the other malts, you get more of a you get that really nice dark color, but you get more complexity. Doesn't get too much like bitter roast. There's a little bit on the aftertaste, which is just what you want from the style, but that's about it.
Again, this I don't have a huge reference in a lot of like British imperial stouts and export stouts, but it reminds me a bit of Guinness export stout. But it reminds me more of Luscious from Alchemist, just a bit lighter. Yeah,
Luscious from Alchemist, and also with less esters, because I think Luscious.
Luscious is maybe a bit more dark fruity.
Yeah, that's what I mean, dark fruity, like esters. Like that British wine gum thing and everything, that's more of that in that beer than this. But sometimes also because it's higher gravity, you can produce more esters, and there's a lot of different things in the terms of brewing it. But I think this is a fantastic export stout. Yeah. And I hope this is something that they're going to do again.
Nailed to the style.
Yeah. And this is something, a great base beer, but I think it should just be like this. Then they can make a different beer with a similar grain bill or whatever, a bit different. But I think it's a shame.
They could use this because the grain bill is really good, so they could build on it, but could also make this again. Yeah, because I think it'd be a bit of a shame if they just put in coffee and all these things. Oh yeah, they shouldn't do that. Because it really shows that this kind of style can just be as complex and really drinkable without adding nut stuff, even though it's awesome with the nut stuff once in a while. But I think this is fantastic. Yeah. 93, 94 for an export stout. Probably one of the best export stouts I've had in I don't know how long. Yeah. Like 93, 94. Maybe 93. Yeah. I'll go 92. I think it's brilliant, and I'd love to drink this every week of the year. Yeah, and the thing is also you can easily drink 2 cans or so. I mean, it's 7.7%. It's not palate fatiguing at all. No, and it's the same ABV as a lot of IPAs. Yeah. So very good. Very good. Impressive. Yeah. So if you guys had a can of Verdant's export stout, let us know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton to Ølkassen for the beer. Check them out. Link for the shop is down below. This was fun to try. Yeah. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And we're going to say cheers. Cheers. See you guys in another beer review.